Quartiles? Is it this one?
I answered this, but I was unsure of it. So since it's up, I'll go over this with you. I'll go over them. I was confused on the difference between the turkey method and using technology.
Okay. Um,
So
okay. So the question is, again, for those of you who are listening, or I'm hoping this is being recorded so I can show it to other people, but I have no idea if it's going to work until. Anyway, so here's your data, and you want to find the quartiles using technology. That's really easy. That's
you didn't do that in the
what?
StatCrunch?
Yes, I'm going to do everything in StatCrunch. That makes it really easy. I mean, to do it, they tell you to use technology. So you open the data in StatCrunch. You're going to go to stat, summary stats of the whole column. And now you take var1, of course, there's only one choice in this case. We don't need this here, we don't need this here. What we do need is to make sure that we have included is the quartile, which is Q1 and Q3, which just to tell you what it means Q1 is like the 25th percentile because it breaks it up into quarters. The Q2 would be the 50th percentile, the second quarter, which happens to be the median also, and the Q3 is the 75th percentile. So you can do it by percentiles. You can do it over here by typing in 25, comma 75, or we already have the Q1 and Q3 already here because it's already pulled out for us. Those are like defaults. So you hit the compute. If we need it, the range, let's see what's here. The range is not here, but so if you want to get it, you need that for some other example?
No. I was just wondering.
Yeah, if you type in range, you'll get the range as well, like this. Oh, if you do that, then they all fall out except for the Q1. Let's put in the Q1 and the Q3. I think you have to hit control to get them both there. So you hit compute. That's it. So it's 26 and 37 is the answer. Okay, 26 and 37. So that's the easy one. All right, so here's 26. So you type in 26 and 37, you got the answer. What about the quartile using the Tukey method? Well, first of all, in real life, you wouldn't use the Tukey method. The Tukey method was good before calculators and things. It goes back 150 years. And there was like another way of doing it. So what Tukey method is, so again, it's unfortunate you have to learn it for the homework and for the test, but I wouldn't say it's so important, is if you recall, the first quartile is the first quarter and the third quartile is the second. So you take the data, you break it in half. Okay, you break it into two halves. People can't see me. Well, maybe you can see me. I don't know. Can see me. You see me there? Where am I? Okay, it's very small. I don't know what they can see here. You break it into two halves. And then if you break the first half into half, you're going to get the first quarter. And if you bring the second half into half, you're going to get in the middle of that, it's going to be the third quarter. So basically, Tukey says take the data, break it into two halves, and then find the middle value of each one. Okay. So the way we're going to do that, again, it's more work than it's worth. Where's my? Oh, do we still have it? Maybe I erased it. Let's put the data back into StatCrunch. Okay, now, what we want to do is we want to first put the data from lowest to highest, because the quartiles work in middle quarter, the second quarter, assuming the data goes from lowest to highest. So then and how many data we have? We have 25 pieces of data, which presents its own problem because, okay, 20, okay, so let's take the first, let's put them from lowest to highest. I guess you can do that by either clicking on this and sorting from lowest to highest. So that's the first step. Okay. Now, the first half of the data, since it's not the first 12 numbers, because that will leave a middle number. So it's the 13th number. So look at the first 13 numbers. So let's erase all these numbers past. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. There may be a better way to do it. I'm not sure how. Maybe put it into Excel. I'm just doing it this way. I mean, if there were 1,000 numbers, this wouldn't work, but there's only going to be 25 numbers. Now, so now we have let's go back to stat. Stat. Summary stat, columns. So now you can do it by hand, but so now let's take the Q1 and now let's take the out, let's do it again. Let's get the middle value. This time we're looking for the median, which is already there, compute. So the median, which is the middle of that first half, actually happens to be the Q1 in this case. So you look for the median, which is 26. So in this case, it turns out to be the same answer as before. All right, so the answer to our question, I went to stat, let's go back. Okay, no, that's the same exact thing as before. I went to stat, summary stat, column. No, you don't. You pick file one. This time we don't want Q1 and Q3 because that will give us, we want the middle, remember, we cut it, we took what we see in front of us now is the bottom half of the data. We want to cut that in half by getting the median now. Now get the median, the middle of that first half happens to be the first quarter. A half of a half is a quarter. Again, let me see, is it clear? We're going to look for the median. We have the bottom half of the data. Chop that in half, so we have like 2 quarters now. So the median comes out automatically. So it's 20, and it came out to 26. Now let's go back and do it again. This time we're going to use the top half of the data. But just the trick is here. One trick is to realize that middle number. Remember the 25 numbers. So the 13th number which we used. Now we got to use it again. From 13 up to 25 is the next top of half of the data. So the middle number is used twice when there's an odd number of numbers. If there's an even number of numbers, it's only used, each half is separate. So I'm going to do this stuff from scratch again. I'm getting out of StatCrunch. Going back into StatCrunch, this time getting, open the StatCrunch. Actually, this time I'm going to use the trick, the built-in little, I don't know what that's called. Now let's do it, we can do it from top to bottom if we want this time. From top to bottom. And this time take the top 13, now we're going to 13 numbers. So get rid of everything past this point. The 14th, the 15th. So what we see in front of us is the top 13 numbers. And almost done. And now I tell StatCrunch to give me the middle of those numbers. Now, it's pretty easy because it's 13 numbers, so it's the 7th number. But sometimes it's duplications, and just do it by the columns. Bar 1. We want the median this time. So hit median. So hit compute. The median is 37. So 26 to 37. I think they might have been the same answer as before. 26. So in this case, it came out, I mean, usually it should come out the same thing, but not always. 26 to 37. So 26 to 37. I hope I got it right. You know, I wouldn't. 37. And where to go? Where do you check the answer? Oh, check it. There it is. Hey, we got it right. Any more? Find the IQR. The IQR is by definition the 27 minus the top quartile minus the third quartile minus the first quartile into quartile range, and that's going to be 11. That's easy. And find the standard deviation. Well, here, the StatCrunch really helps you because to do this by hand, you got to take each number, you got to first calculate the average. Then you got to subtract each number minus the average, square it, add them all up 25 numbers, divide by 25 minus 1, which is 24. Then take a square root. It could take you 20 minutes, and you make a careless mistake, you got it wrong. So here's how you get it in StatCrunch. Open a StatCrunch. Stat, summary stat, column. This is the column. It's already there, standard deviation. Hit compute, and the standard deviation is 1.92. Couldn't be easier, or 1.92. What are you saying?
I think you looked at the wrong one.
I read it wrong? Oh, yeah, it looks like it is a little, it should be bigger than that. So let's try it again.
I think it was 9 point something.
Maybe I'm looking, there it is.
Yeah, you were looking at the.
sorry. There's something called a standard error, which you learn about in, well, you may have had in a stat one, but this is stat one, I keep forgetting. And you learn later on is this number divided by the square root of the sample size, which is this number here divided by 5. But anyway, 9.60. And in a couple of places, 9.60. And check answer, and I'm pretty sure it's right. Next click, done. Okay? That's it. Hopefully this will be recorded for other people to